No sound? Still? So, like, just let me know. I was messing with my settings. Still no sound. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. There you go. We're back. No sound. Still no sound. Oh, my show I have sound. Do I have sound? Now, so okay. All right. Hi, everybody. All right. Whew. I was getting a little hot and heated there. Um, just right. Yeah. So I was messing with the settings because I wanted to get some not very loud though. Oh. I don't know what I can do about that. Turn up your mic, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, it's. I've been trying to work on some of my settings here on OBS, and apparently it messed up the sound. So I apologize for that. But hopefully you can hear me now. I have my fan blowing in the background, so I'm sure that probably affects some of the sound. But hopefully you guys can hear me and see me. I don't know. I feel like I'm doing all this sign language. But yeah, it's a hot one today. As you can see, I've got my little pigtails going on here just because I'm so hot. But how's everybody doing today? I'm tired today. We had the Christmas in July class yesterday, and it went a little bit long, and then I ended up doing a drawing. So whew, I was tired after yesterday. Just you guys confirm for me. Are we good as far as the sound? Jim, I need your address because I still have your card from last week that I need to get out to you. I'm trying to get caught up on all of my mailings. And I started doing the kits today for the Halloween class. So it's been a busy morning. I contemplated not doing the live today just because yesterday was such a long day for me. And there's a lot of work that goes into those classes. I'm sure you guys can imagine, but you don't realize because unless you've ever put a class together, there's the getting the kits together. Well, first of all, there's planning the projects, right? And then there's getting the kits together. And then there's ordering all the supplies, all the marketing involved, and then my course plan. It might not look like I'm organized when I'm doing my classes, but there's a lot of planning that goes into it. So I was tired yesterday. And my husband was like, well, I said, God, I was so tired. I said, there's a lot of work that goes into those classes. And my husband was like, well, why do you do them? And I'm like, because it's fun. Just because it's a lot of work doesn't mean it's not fun, right? So I had a good time yesterday. And I thought what we would do today, if you guys are cool with it, is rather than create a project, I wanted to share with you some of the projects we made in the class yesterday. Are you guys good with that? If you can let me know if you're good with that. Just because I just don't know how creative I can be today. I was so tired after yesterday. But it's a good tired because it's fun. It's fun to create. And working full time, I don't always have that opportunity to just create for several hours. So I really enjoyed it. Cordelia, did you get your husband fed? I know you had to pop out and feed your husband, so I appreciate that. My husband was cooking while I was doing the class, and we had ribs last night, so it was good. It was good fun. Okay, so are you good with me just sharing some of what we did yesterday in the class, and then if there's any cards that I haven't finished yet, we can go ahead and maybe finish those up. Does that sound like a plan? You guys kind of give me a yes or a no, or like that's a stupid idea, Monica. Just let me know if that's a good idea. If you guys are cool with that. You got to feed him before the live. Well, that's good because we don't want hungry husbands, right? Anything works for you, Jim. All right, you guys are so accommodating. I appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to transition down, and then I'll share with you some of the cards that we did in the class yesterday. All right, Cordelia, perfect. Thanks, you guys. I'm just so tired from yesterday. I just don't know how creative I can be today. But let me transition down, and we'll get this going. But before I do that, I wanted to thank a few people. So this is what I was working on when I messed up the sound. Um, I got a few more people that ordered the Backstage Pass, and I'm revamping that program because I'm doing more and more classes, and I'm going to do classes next year with some of my kids as well. So I thought, why not do the Backstage Pass where people can download the kit and get the class for free, and it's a year-long pass, and you can download everything in my shop. So we got a few more people that joined the Backstage Pass program, and I wanted to say a big thank you for that. These Backstage Passes help me to continue to bring you guys product, and help me to stay creative, and help me to pay for the mail that I send out to you guys, and all the freebies and everything that goes along with that. So I truly, truly appreciate all of my site members, whether you're a creator member, a fan member, or a Backstage Pass member. I truly appreciate you. I just wanted to do a shout out to you all. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's go ahead and transition down, and we can get going. All right. Let's see here. All right. Okay, so let's see. My desk is still a mess from yesterday. Like I said, I've been working on the Halloween kits, for the next class, because I wanted to make sure if I had to order any more product that I knew ahead of time. Those kits are selling out. Cordelia, I'm gonna hold one aside for you, hon, because I know you said you wanted one, but they're really selling out. So I had to make sure I had enough product for my kids, and then my kids. Let's talk about that a minute. So this is the class that we're going to be doing, and some of this stuff, right, is things that you get in stores, and I buy them wholesale for us. But some of this stuff is my vintage stuff, so I have to go through my vintage items and cut those out. These are die cuts, so I have to die cut all of these for you guys. These are die cuts, so I have to die cut. I have to die cut these, for you guys, for the kits. What else have I been working on for these kits? Let's see. Hold on a second here. Just hold on. I have to sort out the paper dolls, so I make sure. Hey, Frida. I make sure everybody gets a nice amount of paper dolls. I cut out the little envelopes. So there's two of those in here. Okay, I gotta go back and make another one. And then I have to stamp these. So, and then I have to cut these out. So there's a lot that goes into putting these kits together. It's just not a matter of putting all the supplies. I have to cut some of this stuff. So I just wanted to share with you, and I'm not complaining. I really enjoy it, but I wanted to share with you the amount of work that goes into planning these classes and getting your kits together. I hope that people don't think I'm overcharging for the kits, because truly I'm not. I try to be generous with you. And I forgot to show you. You guys are getting vintage prescriptions as well in your kit. So I try to be generous with my kits, and I have to remind you that hopefully you don't feel like I'm overcharging, but there is a lot of work that goes into putting these together, and I know a lot of you appreciate the time that I put into it, but I just wanted to kind of reiterate, I'm not just trying to charge a lot of money. Certainly I try to give you the most for your buck on these. And then next year, if you're a Backstage Pass member, you're going to be getting all of my classes for free. So you'll just have to pay for the supplies. So I am really trying to um, make it where, I know we're all on budgets. I'm on budgets too, but I'm trying to make it where we can all still play and participate without breaking the bank. So I just wanted to share that with you, because in putting the kids together, it truly is a lot of work. I've been working on it all morning. So yeah, so hopefully you guys are excited about the next class. Um, Suzanne, gosh, I don't know. I'm putting the kids together now, so I'll let you know. And I want to remind you that the kit is one cost, and then the seat in the seat in the class is another. So make sure that you do both. As I'm putting the kids together, if I notice that you've ordered the kit but you didn't sign up for the class, or you signed up for the class and didn't order the kit, I'll let you know, because I know a lot of time has passed since you probably signed up, and I want to make sure everybody is doing what they want to do. So yeah, so enough said with that. But I'm truly excited. This is a great kit. I had an idea about Christmas, because I don't have any Christmas classes out there yet. But I was thinking about maybe doing something similar to this for Christmas. I know not everybody's into ghoulish Halloween, and this is my asylum. And I've even out, and I make printables. So I've been making, these chipboards, and there's going to be 5 chipboards in the book kit. But I make these, so not only do I just get the product, but I make some of the product as well. So there's a lot of work, and I might make some to sell some of these. I haven't decided. It's too much work. But what was I saying? So yeah, so I was thinking about doing something like this for Christmas, and making it more cutesy than ghoulish. So if I can get a prototype together, maybe we'll do that for Christmas. But we'll see. Because I said I don't have any classes out there yet for Christmas, and I know that we're running out of time. So do you guys like that idea of a Christmas book as well? Rather than a ghoulish asylum book. I like these. I think they're so cool. But maybe we'll do a Christmas book. We'll see. All right, so let's talk about the class yesterday. It was great fun. We had loads of fun. In fact, we had so much fun we went over a little bit. And boy, did we make cards. Some of these cards were my sample ones, but some of them we actually made when we were on the screen. So let's kind of go through the cards here. All right, so the first card I wanted to share with you is my naughty or nice card, and there's a few variations. Here we go. So this came as an idea because I created this card several years ago, and let's see if you can share this. So it is a meter. It was one of the Tim Holtz dies, the Biggs dies, and I had grunged this up and added rust, and I made this card, and I liked it so much that I kept it. I never even put in a sentiment inside, because I really liked it, and I knew I'd be doing more and more of these. So I had the idea, well, first of all, the people that got the kit, got everything to put this together. But I also wanted to give people the opportunity to create this, even if they didn't have all of the product. So I put together a digital kit, and this is the digital kit right here, and I made it a couple of ways. So number one, this is the flat one. So I used my Photoshop and I created layers to create this card. So it's just a print and cut in glue. So all you needed to do if you wanted to make multiple cards is kind of print, cut, and glue. And I'm kind of kept that in mind because I know Christmas cards can get very expensive if it's too heavy. So I wanted to make it where people can do really cute cards with it not being really heavy. And then within the kit also, I made it where the pieces were not laid down, they were individual. So, and what I mean by that is, let me see if I have one here. Yeah, so this is the flat version. And like I said, my desk is still a mess, so I'm just kind of digging through to see what I still have on my desk. And then I guess I don't have another principle, but then I also had where you can have these individually cut out. So this is popped up if you can kind of see that. And then this is popped, comes off, and then you can just add pieces. So that way you can have like a layered one. And then within the kit, I had these sentiments again where you just kind of cut, layer, and glue. So a real quick card, but still really fun. So that was the first card that we made. This came in the kit that I mailed out, and it has a little bit more texture and whatnot. But this was the principle. So I wanted to make sure everybody. Can you bring the cards up to the camera? Yes. I wanted to make sure everybody could play along. So that's why I created the digital. I'm going to actually bring the camera down. So let me know if that's better. Is that better, you guys? So yeah, so I don't want it to be too much in your face, so let me know if that's better. But so yeah, so this is the one that came in the kit, and it has the the little meter that moves for the naughty and nice, and then this was the actual digital. So I wanted to make sure everybody could play along even without buying the kit. When I said it was a free class, it truly was a free class, and I didn't want people to think, well, how am I going to play along if I don't have a kit? So I wanted to make it where everybody could play, because it was my gift to everybody to just sit and create with you all for about 3 hours. So that was the first card that we made, and I know Cordelia shared her card on social media, and it was very cute. So she played along with us, and I appreciated that. So in the kit also, I gave some people these Victorian carolers. So I showed everyone kind of how to play with those. I didn't actually, well, I take that back. We did create a card. This is the card that we created in the actual class, and it was a light up. Oh, there it goes. So if you can see that, it's one of those push light ups from Pear Blossom. So I wanted to kind of share that, because a lot of people love seeing those light up cards during the holidays, but maybe a little bit too intimidated to actually make them. So I wanted to kind of show them how it worked. And in the kit, people got these Victorian carolers with the light post. I made this actually last Christmas, and you can see the cobblestone has some of the texture on it. And then these are popped up, and then again you have the little light that goes behind it. I love this card. This is a very traditional Christmas card, because you've got your Victorian carolers along with the lamp post. And I do a card with these carolers every year because I think it's a very traditional card, and I love it. This die is a really, really old Tim Holtz die. It's one of those Biggs dies. And this is a die, and then this is a die. And I actually have some of these silhouette characters cut out. So if you do want to get them and can't find the die anymore, then you can find these in my shop. And I think I give you like 5 sets, and it's not very expensive. But so this was one of the ones. This vellum, printed vellum, was in the kit also. And then this was a remnant rub. And then I added some washi tape up here. And then again, the little light where you can see it on the lamppost. And of course, in the class, I said I had to add a paper doll, because if you guys know me, and I know that you all do, you know that I love my paper dolls. So that was another card that we created. I haven't put the sentiments in yet, but I still plan on doing that. And that's why these cards are still on my desk. Here was another one that I had done last year, but I was given the idea. We actually did some blending in the class. Where we did a moon, and I'll share one with you that we did in the class. And I'm going to do another blending class, a live class, right? We'll do blending. I know I did one last year, but I'll do another one. People that were in the class, I actually sent out this great little booklet that shared colors that blend well together. And it wasn't mine, it was another designer's, but I went ahead and I linked it for them, so they could grab it if they wanted it. So it worked out well. But yeah, so I love these big moons. So we went ahead and did a little bit of blending for that. And those big moons were great not only for Christmas, but also for Halloween as well. So this was another card that we did in the class. All right. And then I kind of indicated that we didn't finish this. This was the very last part of the class that we did, where we were doing blending and the moon. And I finished this off camera, but this is a new die that I have in my shop. And you guys remember last year when I was talking about the glitter dust and how I couldn't find it? And I found it at the end of the season. And so I've been real anxious to play with it. So I have it out for my Christmas crafting. And I used it on this particular card. And I think it's fabulous. I don't know if you can see the pixie dust. Oh, there you go, right there. But it's just very, very subtle. So it looks like just the beginning of snowfall. And I just think it's wonderful on this card. I've got that big moon in the background. And then again, I used the same die cut from Tim Holtz that I did on this one to have the landscape in the background. Yeah, Cordelia, this Santa and sleigh and the reindeer is really great. I only ordered about 5 or 6 of them, but I'm going to get some more for the Christmas season. So if you want one, I have a few left in the shop, but I'm sure they're going to go pretty quickly. So this is a very again a traditional card. You know me, I love my vintage cards and I love traditional cards. So I love making cards that remind me of old time Christmas, you know, and the carolers of course do that, as well as just the traditional Santa with his reindeer. So we'll have to do this on one of the lives where we just actually make this, because this was a lot of fun to make. But I kind of showed them in the class how to do the blending and how to get the shadows, and you can kind of see the haze down here. Hopefully you can see that. But I kind of showed in the class how to get that done. But my biggest point and my biggest suggestion was practice. Practice, practice, practice. Because I haven't been able to do this blending overnight. I've been doing this for several years, and I've got it down pretty well, but certainly I've had to practice over the years to get these combinations working. All right, so let's see, what else? So here is another couple of cards that we did, and these were dies that I had in the kit that I gave everybody, and then again, this is that printed vellum. And this is a technique that I showed everybody where you can, cut out an oval. I ordered it. I don't have a Santa and sleigh. Well, you do now, Cordelia, if you ordered it. So and you'll love it. It's a great die. I cut out the oval, and then I ran this through embossing folders to get, a little bit of texture. And then I put vellum behind it, and then I just added a little swirl. And I cut out some of these swirls in different colors. This is the die right here, because I like to have choices. So what I'll do, and this is one of the things that we talked about in the class, is I'll cut out several different colors of my dies and put them together, so that way when I sit down to start creating, that I have them at my fingertips and I don't have to stop and die cut. So that's one of the things that I said when we're getting ready to craft, is cut out your dies early. Go through your Christmas dies and see what you have, and cut them out ahead of time, even if you're not going to craft, or even if you don't know if you're going to use them, and put them in a little baggie so they're ready to go, because that's what I do. And then again, this is just real simple. I just put a little sentiment here. I didn't have any Christmas stickers handy, so I just put hello friend, and then the inside will be a Christmas sentiment. So this could be a card for a friend over the holidays. And one of the things that I said that I would do is, like I said, this is vellum, but I'm going to do a live, one of the lives, everybody. Hey, Robin, did you get your house? I know you said you had a couple that you were interested in. I'm going to do one of our lives where we play with vellum and stamping on vellum, so I can show you some techniques with that as well. So that will be more to come. But these were 2 of the cards that I did in the class, just very simple, and that really was the goal of the class, is to keep it simple and have it where everybody can create these. You don't have to create what I like to call a masterpiece, right? Not every card in our Christmas making needs to be a masterpiece. Certainly we can make beautiful cards that is not a lot of effort but still come out wonderful. So yeah, I added another paper doll on this one to create just a couple of really, really nice cards, but very simple. All right. So as I said, everybody that joined the class got a free set of digitals. And this was one of the digitals that they got. It was this old time Santa. Um, and I don't have any in front of me, but yeah, they got the old time Santa. He wasn't colored. Um, and on in the class, we went ahead and I colored it. And I showed people how I do some of the shading on cards that I don't color a lot. You know, this card would have been wonderful as a traditional black and white card. I just have to print, cut, and glue. Again, I wanted to make it simple for people that maybe are just starting out in card making and haven't mastered um, putting together everything. But this is something that everybody in the class got, so everybody could put these cards together. And then I shared just a little secret. This is a stamp that I've got, that I had for years. It's just a little star that has little dots, and I think I got it at Joann's for like 99 cents. And I keep it right on my desktop right here because if I ever need a filler or just something, this is the stamp that I use for fillers because, you know, it would have been fine without it, but I think the stars just kind of, you know, bring it all together and make the card just kind of work, and it's very cohesive. So this was just another card that we put together in the class, and it's an opportunity to color or not color. You can add bling if you want to, just lots of opportunity to over embellish it or keep it really simple. All right. So one of the dies, or say another one of the dies that I gave out in the kit was this little girl, and it was a whole scene. It had a little girl, a little boy, it had a dog and a cat. I had the Christmas tree, it had some decorations for the tree and some stars. It was a whole scene. And what we did for this particular card is create a silhouette scene. So in the kit, they got, you know, the Merry Christmas die, of course, and they got the window. And then I showed them how I approach putting together window scenes. You know, it's not a matter of just laying it down and being done. You kind of have to position it because you want to make sure, number one, your images are inside of the window, and number two, that it's cohesive. The background is, again, some of the backgrounds that I created, and I showed people how to create really soft, subtle backgrounds using stencils. So I might have just a live or something on just working with stencils, and I need some more ideas for lives. I think what I'm going to do starting, you know, next month is I'm going to have more structured lives. Like, for instance, maybe one day we'll do stencils, one day we'll do silhouette stamping, you know, one Sunday we'll do scenes. So I want to kind of break it out where we can actually learn. I love hanging out with y'all, but I love teaching as well. So I think I'm going to try to be a little bit more structured in some of the lives going forward, working into the holidays. I'm kicking around having a Halloween class, just a free Halloween class where we just do makes, but I haven't completely decided if I'm going to do that yet. I always do my 7 days of Halloween, so I'm going to start taping for those. I saw Tim has some of his new Halloween items out, and I'll say this with love. I wasn't overly excited about everything that I saw. I did like the little trick-or-treaters, which was a die, but we'll see. I'm big on the stamps. Sometimes I like the other items like the die cuts and whatnot, but I wasn't running to the store to order his new release. And don't get me wrong, I think it's wonderful. I think that there's a lot of wonderful products in there, but nothing that really just made me very overly excited. So we'll see. I have a lot of Halloween stamps and dies already, so I'm sure my 7 days of Halloween will work just fine. So we'll see about the class. The free class, like I said, about Christmas was a lot of work. So we'll see if I have the time to put one together. Hey, Elizabeth. So this again was one of the cards that we made in the class. Everybody got the dies to cut these out, and the window, the background, and then of course just the scene. And we did some tags also. We didn't have a chance to actually make our tags, but I did share some examples of tags, and ideas on what to do um, with this actual die. So no, Jim, Max actually isn't in here right now. He's in the other room. So if you hear any snoring, it might be just me snorting. But Elizabeth says that she's gonna get the moon and the bats, and that's about it. Yeah, I like to make my own moons. So not, I like to make my moons, and I have somewhere around here. I have the stencil. Oh yeah, I do have the stencil to make the different layers of moons. So I may not be getting those dies or not, but as you can see, I enjoy making my own moons. All right, so yeah, so this was a lot of fun. Everyone got that ordered the kit got a set of plaid paper. The kit was great. It was a lot of random items. You get die cuts, paper, washi tape. There were a lot of things to be able to create several cards, and that really was the goal of the kit. For only $20, it was a pretty good bargain. But yeah, so this was one of the cards that we put together in the class as well. All right. Oh, here's another example. So this was my prototype, and then this was the one that we actually did in the class. I have a jump start on Christmas cards now, huh? All right, yeah, I still have to put my insides in there. All right, so this was a class favorite, and it was so simple to put together. In the kit, there was a tree die, which is fabulous. I loved it, and I wanted to show in the class how easy it was to put together some real, again, I keep saying traditional, but for me, being a vintage inspired crafter, tradition is everything for me. I like the traditional Christmas cards, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to offend. I think the cutesy cards are cute, the funny cards are funny, but I'm a very traditional crafter. So I tend to stick to ye oldie type of cards. But that's not necessarily to say that those other ones aren't fantastic as well. It's just not my style necessarily. And I try to stay true to my style. When I first started crafting, I tried to do shaker cards, and I tried to do cutesy cards, and I tried to do all these different types of cards just because I felt like, you know, as a designer, I needed to hit everybody's taste and genre, and then I decided, you know, I just need to do me. I need to do what I'm good at, and I need to focus on what I love doing. And for me, traditional, very vintagey style is, of course, who I am. So either you love me or you don't, but that's who I am. So I wanted to share a really easy technique about putting together these cards. And this die I shared, if I have it around still, yeah. This came from this stamp, this die set here, and you might remember this. This was several years ago, and this car is going to make a return this Christmas because now I have two cars from Tim Holtz. But I took out the snowbank, and I just used it to cut out part of my white paper, and then I had you know, black designer paper, and I just matted this right on top so that way the tree came through when I cut the stencil out. So you can do this not only with trees, but you can do it with, like, you know, hanging ornaments, anything that would fit within here. I wouldn't overdo it because then just, to me, it's too much is too much. But that's what I did. So keep in mind some of your um, older die sets, while you may not necessarily decide to make this whole set, there are bits and pieces from each set that we can incorporate into other cards. So if you don't have a Christmas tree, you know, you can maybe pull the Christmas tree out of here, or you can make multiple presents. Maybe you want to just use the snowbank like I did here, or just the trees, or even just the Merry Christmas. So there's a lot of ways that you can still use some of your older die sets without having to make necessarily the whole thing. You can just use bits and pieces. And here's that die, that tree die. Again, it's just a very classic tree that I thought was fantastic, and it was part of the kit. All right. So yeah, so these are going to be coming around again at Christmas because I love this design. I like this one. This is very just simple and classic, but I really like the wave here. And I've got some other edgers that I'm going to be trying out as well. So yeah, so these were cards that we made in the class. All right, so I saved, I don't want to say the best, but one of my favorite for last. And it was this scene card. And I made this towards the end because I wanted to keep the messy crafting towards the end, and I did the blending at the very end. So we kind of ran out of a little bit of time to put this together. My tea was coming up. So I thought maybe what we could do is we can go ahead and finish putting this together right now, if you guys are cool with that. So everybody in the class got everything they needed to make this. This is a die set, and in the description box for this video, I did leave a link to every product that I used for my class. And these houses are 50% off right now. So if you're interested in getting them over at scrapbook.com, now's a real good time to get them because they are on sale. When I was adding the links last night, that's when I saw that it was on sale, so I wanted to let everybody know. So, love the twine on the tree. Yeah, the twine is just thread, but you can use anything really thin, and I just wrapped it around the car. Do I have some of the cars here? You guys recognize this car, I'm sure. It's from Tim's, I don't know where it's at. It's from Tim's earlier release this year. Yeah, I don't have it right here with me, but this is the finished card, and then in the kit, everybody just got 2 pieces. I didn't give them the whole die set because that would have made me crazy to have to cut out everything. But I did cut out the base so they could at least have the base for the car, or of the car, to put in front of the scene. So everybody that registered for the class did get a digital of snow falling, because this again is a very classic background that can be used for many Christmas cards. So I wanted to make sure people had a snow background. We're going to be doing some tutorials on how to create snow, how to make snow backgrounds. So, oh, Cordelia, go grab your tea. So we're going to be doing that as well. I have lots of plans on what we're going to be doing. So hopefully you guys won't get bored. But this is a principle, so I wanted to give, you know, everybody an opportunity to have a snowy background, even if they didn't necessarily know how to create one. So the houses we put together, and it's a very simple design, right? You just kind of put your houses together, and then the Merry Christmas was a die that we had. So when you do have several pieces, when you're putting together a scene, you want to kind of course, lay it out first. You know, if you had those littler trees that we just saw a minute ago, might even work. So these are definitely smaller trees than this one, so you might be able to even incorporate some of these smaller trees into your scene. So don't be afraid to mix and match when you're putting together your Christmas cards. And then, of course, you've got your fancy car that can go right in front. And this is a really fun card to put together. This one is a little bit more detailed, you guys, because, of course, all these little pieces are separate. Um, and you have to put the houses together. So they might take you a little bit more time for these cards, but these are the types of cards that I call masterpieces, and I quote it masterpiece because certainly I don't consider my cards masterpieces, but they take more time than a simple card like this. So, in our Christmas card creating, you probably will make about 10 or 11 masterpieces, is what I like to call. Maybe more if you have time, depending on how early you start for your card making. But we'll certainly have more simpler cards, and that, of course, will be easier on the pocketbook as well when you go to mail them. So this, again, once you actually put your houses together, and my plan is, one day I'm going to just go ahead and just cut out everything. And I have these little baggies. So when I have every bit I need, I'll put it in a baggie and then I'll put it aside. I'll cut another one, put it in a baggie, put it aside. So when I get ready to create, I just have to grab my baggie. And I have everything that I need just to sit down and make the houses. So if I'm making the cards, I won't necessarily make a house, make both houses and do one card and then go do more cutting. I'll do all of my cutting first, and then I'll do all of my assembly of the houses first, or the cards even if I'm going to make fancy cards, and then I'll put the cards together. So that's the way that I approach some of my fancier card making, because it can certainly take hours and hours on end, right? The other thing I wanted to just talk about a minute here is fine point glue. I know I had a few people ask me what I was talking about when I suggested that they have this, but this is what I was talking about. This one is a little bit thinner than this one, but what I like about this one, and I got it at Joann's, is it has a real fine tip, right? But it has also the needle. I don't know if you can see that. It has the needle that goes into the fine tip. So when you're done working with it, you can put it right back. You can put it right back in, so that way your nozzle doesn't get clogged, which is always nice, right? Nobody wants a clogged nozzle. I know I don't. But when you are ready to craft, I didn't get all of my bits out. Let's see. I know this isn't a poker, but it will work. I had another one here. There it is. But when you get all of your little bits out, then you can just, very light-handedly add your glue. I know a lot of stores out there have these really fine tip glue bottles, so they're not hard to find, but I truly liked the one that had the needle to be able to keep my nozzle from drying out, because that's the problem I've had with some of these fine tips, is that the glue will get dried up inside the nozzle and then I can't use it anymore. So I really appreciated the fact that the manufacturer thought that through, when they were building the cap. And then, of course, it doesn't do us any good well, it's like threading a needle, you guys. It doesn't do us any good if we don't get it back put away the way it's supposed to be. It's a very thin point, so it might take you just a second. Alright, so yeah, so once you have all of your houses put together, then Of course, it's real easy to put together the cards. And then if you wanted to add bling, you know, those little jewels that are out there, I actually have, let me share with you, hold on 1 second. I actually have some of these little bits that I'm going to be using as Christmas lights on some of my trees. And I have them in different colors. Let me show you. Let me show you what I use these for. Somewhere around here. Hold on. Alright, so yeah, I use them for the little berries. But I think these would be really fun to make Christmas lights. So I probably will be doing that. And these are just part of my own stash. But if it works out to be really, I'll have to try it. If it works out to be really fun Christmas lights, maybe I'll put some sets together. We'll see, right? So, yeah, so I got my house. And then I'm going to put my second house right here. And on this one, I just put some bling just to act like Christmas lights. So that was just a little extra addition that I had. And then, you know, once I have my houses, then you can, of course, add your little car. These cars are a lot of fun to make too. I plan on making several of these cars along with that other car that I showed you from the previous releases. And make kind of like a, I'm thinking, this always comes out with an idea, right? I'm thinking about like a road trip to grandma's. Oh, I should have put my tree on first. Like a road trip to grandma's house. I forgot to put my tree on. Using a couple of cars. So we'll see. Hello, T. Let me find. Let's see. Maybe I'll pull some thread from this. I bought this thinking it would be really fun to use for some of my stitched cards this year. I'm not sold on it yet. We'll have to see. I'm still playing with it. So maybe I'll do a video on this once I master it. But I'm just going to steal some white thread from this. I have my sewing machine that I stitch, you know, my cards with. But I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have like a handheld one? But the jury's still out on it. We'll see. Alright, so let me see if I can attach this tree real quick. So the first thing that I always do is not put glue on the back of the car like I just did. So you don't want to do that. But you just want to put enough glue to have your tree stay in place, I guess, right? So let's just kind of do that. And then once it's in place, yeah, Tia wasn't overly excited. I liked the little trick-or-treaters, I think is what they were. But I'm going to see what his Stampers Anonymous release looks like and his ideology, because that's really where my heart is. Alright, so once you have your tree in place, then it's just a matter of just wrapping the thread around it. And this is just thread from my sewing machine. It's nothing fancy. And I wanted it thin enough, right? You don't want it to be too bulky and too heavy, but just enough where you can just wrap it around. And it's all in the details. I mean, I certainly could have just left it glued without the twine around the tree, but you know, why not just take a couple extra moments and wrap some thread to really finish it off. So that's how I did that, and very, very simple. Certainly not brain surgery, right? And then maybe just, you know, a little glue to help the thread stay in place. And then once your tree is attached, then you can go ahead and glue down your car. Hey, Rebecca. So now we can add our glue, right? And then put him right in front of the house. And then just to help it along a little bit, those are very thin pieces of the car. So maybe just, you know, help it be its friend and hold down the glue for a minute. So that way, you know it sticks. So that was one of the bigger card projects that we made in the class. Took a little bit of time, of course, because again, I gave everybody the pieces to put the houses together. We didn't actually get to put it together, but I wanted to go ahead and give you an idea of the finished card. So that was the class, you guys. Other than chit-chatting and getting to know everybody, that pretty much was the class. If you didn't get a chance to attend, I certainly understand, and we missed you. But it was a full, 3 hours of constant, little bugger doesn't want to stay down, of constant card making. So you can see why I was so tired after the class. And I just had little to no creativity left today to create for you. So I beg your pardon, and I hope you understand. So that's all I had today for you guys. If you like the Naughty or Nice card kit, check it out. It's only, ooh, what is that? I might have to add more brown. I don't know what I must have added something, but I kind of like it. This is a card kit. It's just a print and create, and I'll probably be making more of those because there's a lot of new card makers out there, and it's really nice to be able to just print your items out and be able to sit down and put together a card, without having to figure out what goes where. But yeah, so that's all I had today. I hope you guys were cool with just me recapping my Christmas in July class. I truly was exhausted yesterday, and I just didn't know if I had any creativity to share with you. So thanks for indulging me, and I hope that for those of you that did take the class, if you weren't able to watch it, or if you did sign up for the class, if you weren't able to watch it, hopefully you'll be able to go back and check out the replay. And maybe in the next few Sundays, maybe we'll make a couple of these cards. I don't know, but we'll see. All right, so that's all I have, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. And if you haven't signed up for the Halloween class, I'm going to be promoting it big time, so definitely sign up. And my kits are limited. I'm kind of going through my inventory now to see how many kits I have left. I have about, I don't know, about 9 left, I guess. But I'm sure they're gonna go. So if you are at the least bit interested in taking the class, get your kits because they're gonna go. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys later. Bye.